Comey now says he hired Fitzgerald as his attorney last year when he was leaking his Trump memos, by Jim Hoff for thegatewaypundit.com. Fired FBI Chief James Comey told reporters at his book signing Tuesday in Chicago he hired former U.S. Attorney Patrick Fitzgerald last year around the time he was fired. News broke earlier today that Comey had hired Fitzgerald. Comey admitted last year during congressional testimony that he leaked memos to his close friend Daniel Richman, a law professor at Columbia University, in order to push a special counsel against President Trump. Richman announced in January of this year that he was now Comey's lawyer, the Chicago Sun-Times reported. Ousted FBI Director James Comey told the Chicago Sun-Times on Tuesday that his longtime friend and former U.S. Attorney Patrick Fitzgerald has been on his legal team for nearly a year. "He's been representing me since I was fired," Comey said in a Washington, D.C. reception Tuesday evening, signing copies of his book, A Higher Loyalty. Fox News legal expert Greg Jarrett told Sean Hannity on Tuesday that Comey likely leaked the memos to his friend Patrick Fitzgerald. It appears Jarrett nailed it. Let's take a quick listen.
Tonight, multiple sources are saying that fired FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe issued a stand-down order during the initial phases of the FBI's investigation into Hillary Clinton's private email server. And according to Carter's sources tonight, McCabe was overseas when he became aware of the investigation and sent electronic communications voicing his displeasure with agents, in other words, doing their job. One FBI official tells Sarah Carter, quote, McCabe tried to steer people off the private email investigation that appears to be obstruction and should be investigated. Now, this, of course, comes on the heels of the IG report on McCabe's firing, revealing, quote, McCabe said that a high-ranking Obama Justice Department official expressed concerns about FBI agents taking overt steps in the Clinton Foundation investigation during the presidential campaign. So it's clear that during the 2016 presidential election, the deep state, as we have now been reporting over a year, was alive and well. Now, we have reached out to Andrew McCabe for comment. We have yet to hear back. And also breaking tonight, Sarah Carter just tweeted out, DOJ will make the 6 months of missing texts that were eventually located by the IG, that's Horowitz, between Strzok and Page, available to Congress sometime tonight or tomorrow, according to sources. That's developing. We will comb through all of those texts if and when they become available. This is a huge development. And meanwhile, we know the two House committee chairmen, Bob Goodlatte, Trey Gowdy, they are making huge strides on their efforts to hold this deep state accountable. Now, this week, the two Republican congressmen, in fact, struck a deal with the Department of Justice and will now gain access to documents surrounding the FBI's investigation into Hillary Clinton and how she mishandled classified information on her unauthorized private email server. Now, these new developments should shine a light on why James Comey gave white glove special treatment to Hillary while turning a blind eye to her serious crimes. Do we have equal justice under the law? Now, tonight there's a new report. James Comey is lawyered up, and he has in fact tapped a personal friend, former U.S. attorney, to help him navigate the current muddy legal waters surrounding him. We did reach out to Comey's attorney for comment. He said he's been a part of Comey's legal team since May of 2017. News to me. And tonight I have some friendly advice for Comey's lawyer. You might want to acclimate your client with 18 USC 793 about leaking classified information, which is a serious crime, and your client needs to be held accountable. I have said many times this year, 2018, is the year of the boomerang, and now it's time for the disgraced former FBI director to answer for his deliberate, improper, and now potentially criminal actions. I have told you this is the biggest abuse of power, corruption scandal in the history of this country. The media has been entirely missing in action the entire time. And the same can be said of the many people at the highest levels of power, sadly. No wonder why they attack me in this show pretty much hourly, daily, Hannity, Hannity, Hannity. Joining us now with the breaking news, Fox News contributor Sarah Carter, Fox News legal analyst Greg Jarrett. Sarah, we begin with you. Let's get into a deep dive into this new development.
I think one of the most important things that we've discovered, Sean, is the fact that, and this has been going on for some time, I've been looking into this for over a year now, is that McCabe actually gave a stand-down order, according to the sources that I spoke with, in the early phases of the Hillary Clinton use of a private email. And that would have been in March 2015, after the New York Times first broke the story that she was using a private email for government business. Shortly after that story came out, FBI agents with the Washington, D.C. field office opened an investigation into Hillary Clinton and began to look into all aspects of that. At that time, McCabe was overseas in Europe and sent a message, according to the sources that I spoke with, electronically to those agents and told them to back off and to stay away from that. Now, remember, it wasn't until July that when the Inspector General had actually asked at the DOJ, that was in 2015, to open an investigation into Hillary Clinton. And this is a significant development, Sean, because that means that there were possibly 2 stand-down orders. We know that the Wall Street Journal reported that there was possibly a stand-down order on the Clinton Foundation investigation. This adds a whole new scope to that, and apparently there is evidence to show it.
All right, let's go to Greg. The legal side has so much to cover on this.
If McCabe actually, for political reasons, gave a stand-down order, that would arguably be obstruction of justice. Even FBI officials can obstruct their own investigation. But it never made sense that people like David Petraeus, John Deutsch, Harold Martin, Sandy Berger, and half a dozen other people were prosecuted for doing the exact same thing that Hillary Clinton did. And yet Comey stood in front of television cameras back in 2016 in July and said no reasonable prosecutor would bring such a case. He seemed to have amnesia that many reasonable prosecutors, including his own, had done the exact same thing. So it's very curious here.
We warned him. Yeah. Right here. You warned him. No good lawyer would let him write this book and go on this tour.
Well, and the other aspect of this is we've learned today that he's hired yet another lawyer. Now, the first lawyer,
Patrick Fitzgerald.
That's right. The first lawyer, Daniel Richman, is the person to whom Comey leaked 7 stolen presidential memos, 4 of which were classified in terms of their content. So now he can hide behind the attorney-client privilege with Richman. And if he also gave those same memos to Fitzgerald, and I believe he did, he's now hired him to hide behind the attorney-client privilege.
That put Scooter Libby,
That's
who
right.
was recently pardoned, he's the one that put him on trial.
That's
and
correct.
Got a conviction.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So you've got Comey now versus McCabe, and I suspect McCabe's going to start singing like a canary because he is in serious legal jeopardy now with a criminal referral against him for lying to the Inspector General.
Sarah, last word for you tonight.
Well, and I think a lot of other people are singing like canaries. That includes Peter Strzok and Lisa Page and everybody else who
Why
is
do they
involved
still
in
have
this.
top security clearance? Why do they still have access to this information?
Well, and I think that's important because I think the Inspector General still has access to them as long as they're still employed. And remember, they are civil servants, so it's not easy to get rid of them. But I have a feeling that they're actually cooperating, and that's why they're there.
Last word, Greg.
Yeah, I think when the Inspector General report comes out and criminal referrals are made, plea deals are going to be had, and people are going to start flipping and incriminating and implicating other people. And one of those people may be James Comey, who's now hawking his book, pocketing millions of dollars. And he better hang on to that cash because he may need it for his criminal defense.
That's
Amazing.
a good one.
Guys, great reporting tonight. Thank you.
That's a good one. He may need it. He's going to need it. Sure, he's going to need it. But again, they're going to be singing like canaries because they don't want to go down. Absolutely. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.